Hello and welcome to day 21 of Move for Mind. So we're going to tie everything that we've done together this week into a very flowy Vinyasa flow. You might need a block and we're going to begin in child's pose. So bringing big toes together, knees come apart and allowing the torso to come in between the knees. Stretching the hands out in front and turning this into a more active child's pose today. So just pressing gently into the hands, maybe elbows come away from the floor. Rolling the forehead from side to side, allowing any tension to be drawn away by this motion and finding that stillness when you're ready. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more like this, in through the nose and out through the mouth. So really allowing that motion of pushing your hands into the ground to send the hips back towards the heels, wrapping the triceps under, maybe just broadening the upper back, finding that stretch all along the spine. Inhale, maybe lifting the head, then bringing the right hand out to the right, the left hand comes out to the right, maybe left hand comes on top of the right hand. Finding that stretch down the whole left side of the body. Inhale. Exhale, sending the hips back. Inhale, coming into centre, sending left hand off to the left, right hand follows left. Maybe right hand comes on top of left hand. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, coming into centre and making your way into a tabletop position. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, sending the right toes back and sending the left heel down towards the mat. So finding that stretch all down the left hamstring. Right hamstring rather. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bringing right toes over towards the left, so sending right toes off the left corner of the mat, and just allowing that heel to come down towards the floor. Inhale, and exhale. And the next inhale, bringing that right knee behind the left knee, and walking yourself back to sit down between your legs. Now you can bring that right leg long along the mat if it feels a bit uncomfortable on the knees, otherwise stacking knee on top of knee, and both sitting bones should be onto the floor. Inhale to open the arms wide, sending the palms behind you. Exhale, right hand, right elbow on top of left elbow, maybe taking a hug around the back of the body, or if you'd like to go further here, crossing the elbows, bringing the backs of the palms together, or going for the full bind, which is palm to palm. Inhale, elbows come up towards the face. Exhale, hands go away from the face, keeping the shoulders coming down the back, so you don't want to be hunching the shoulders up. Inhale, broadening the upper back. Exhale, finding space. Inhaling, sending the breath all the way into the back body, and exhaling. Inhaling, opening the arms wide, sending the palms just behind the back line of the body. Exhale, coming onto hands and knees, finding your tabletop. Inhale, dropping the belly, feeling the chest through the arms, finding your cow. Exhale, arching the spine, navel to spine, finding that doming sensation in the back in your cat. Inhale, finding the chest coming through in your cow. Exhale, arching through, finding your cat, mobilizing the spine. Inhale, coming back to that neutral position and sending the right toes back, right heel comes down towards the floor. Just gently reminding the hamstrings that we know that they're there. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to cross left leg over towards the right. As far as feels good for you. Inhale and exhale. Next inhale, crossing left knee behind the right knee, easing your way back to sit onto your sitting bones. Left leg can be long, left leg can be bent. Totally up to you with how you feel in your body today. But wherever you are, inhaling the arms wide and open. Exhale, left elbow on top of right elbow, maybe taking the hug around the back, giving yourself a bit of a squeeze. It's been a long January. Otherwise, bending the elbows, bringing the back of the palms together, or maybe bringing both palms together, taking the bind. Making sure you're not arching the spine here, so keeping that navel engaged, spine is long. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, palms away from the face, finding that opening through the upper back. Almost like you're spreading your shoulder blades apart here. Inhale and exhale. Next, inhale, opening the arms wide, sending the palms beyond the line of the body. Exhale, planting the hands, uncrossing the knees and making your way back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Taking a nice deep bend in one knee and then the other. Easing your way into the practice, easing your way into this pose, whatever feels good for you today. Any movements that you need, or maybe you just come straight to that point of stillness. Finding your place in this downward facing dog, really rooting the hands down, pressing down through each and every fingertip and the thumb. Knees can be bent, heels can be way away from the floor. Just make sure you're tilting that tailbone skyward. Inhaling high onto the balls of the feet, taking a deep bend in the knees, look between the palms, and take as many steps as you need to come to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, finding your halfway point. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold, keeping a bend in the knees. Keeping the torso heavy, folding over the legs, crown of the head towards the floor. Next, inhale, pushing into the feet, root to rise to come all the way to standing, gaze follows thumbs above the head. Exhale, bringing the prayer through the center line of the body, setting up for your Tadasana, palms either side of the body, palms facing forward. Big toes to touch and heels slightly apart or feet hips distance apart. Inhale those shoulders up and away from the ears, keeping the navel in towards the spine. Tall like a mountain, strong like a mountain, stable like a mountain. Inhale, sweeping both arms up, gaze follows thumbs. Exhale to hinge and fold over your legs, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long and straight through the spine. Exhale, planting hands and stepping back to find your high plank. Exhale to bring the knees down, the chin and the chest come to the ground. Inhale, peeling through, finding that baby cobra. Exhale, rolling over the toes, coming back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Finding that length in the spine. Inhale, the right leg lifts, high on the ball of the left toes, bringing right knee to nose, planting right foot up in between the palms. Inhale, coming up, finding your way into crescent lunge. Maybe walking toes over to the right slightly, but staying super high on the ball of that back foot, keeping the left leg straight in this pose. Inhaling, the arms lift. Exhale, bringing the hands back through cactus. So bending the elbows at a 90-degree angle and sending the palms back. Inhale. Exhale to interlace the hands behind the back, bringing the palms together if you can, no worries if you can't. You can also take hold of opposite elbows here. Inhale to open the chest like you've got a weight attached to your wrists. Exhale, starting to lean forward, finding that diagonal press, coming high onto the ball of that left foot. Maybe the toes come a little way away from the floor. Maybe you find yourself rising into Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Squaring through the hips, keeping strong and engaged through that back leg. Arching the chest, so bringing the hands away from the back. Inhale. Exhale, bending into that front leg to land the left leg back gently with control. Straightening through both legs, releasing that interclasp. Both feet turning towards the top of the mat. Inhale, either taking hold of opposite elbows or bringing hands into reverse Namaste, reverse prayer behind the back. If you do have the prayer, wiggling the hands up in between the shoulder blades. Inhale to open up through the chest. Exhale, engaging the belly, starting to hinge forward at the hips. coming into our pyramid pose. Sending that right hip back as left hip comes forward. Gaze towards your big toe. Inhale, really encouraging that opening of the chest here, shoulders back. And exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, bending into that right leg, planting the hands and stepping back into your plank. Either coming straight back into your downward facing dog or maybe coming through that chaturanga, that vinyasa. So inhale to prepare, really pushing into the hands, doming the upper back, broadening the upper back, bringing the navel in towards the spine. You can either lower your knees here or if you're ready to come into the full whack, leaning forward, looking forward. Exhale, bending the elbows, coming to that 90-degree angle. Inhale, peeling through, finding your upward dog or your cobra. Exhale, and you're in your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Honestly, one of my favourite things to say. So coming back to the breath, finding your length, finding your stability in this pose before we make it to the other side. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, high onto the ball of the right foot as left knee comes to the nose, planting left foot up in between the hands. Inhale, sweeping both arms up, crescent lunge. Maybe walking those toes out. And your hands can be lower here, you don't have to be up. If you're up and arching, we don't want that. We want to bring arms so that you're able to maintain that integrity in the back and the spine and in the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, bending the elbows, coming back into that cactus with the arms. So think about the Arizona desert, what those cactuses look like. Cacti? Cactuses? You know what I mean. Inhale, opening up through the chest. Exhale, taking the interlace behind the back or taking hold of opposite elbows if you prefer. Inhale, expanding the chest. Exhale, bending into that left knee, leaning the weight forward into that diagonal. Maybe you just come to the very tops of the right toes here, holding this pose. This is fantastic Warrior 3 prep, and to be honest, you're going to get more into your glutes because, oh my God, mine is speaking to me. Or starting to lift that right leg away from the mat, aiming eventually for parallel, but more to keep your hips square. And find that, find the upward facing dog sensation in the chest. Inhale. Exhale, finding your stability as I wobble, bending your left knee, landing the right toes back, coming so both legs are straight, big toes pointing towards the top of the mat. Either bringing opposite elbows together or nestling the prayer up in between the shoulder blades. Inhale, use the hands on the back to find more space and openness in the chest. Exhale, navel to spine, hinging and folding over that left leg. So this side might feel different to the other. I've got an old injury in this side, so I have to work much more carefully. So listening to your body and noticing the feedback that you're getting from it. But really rooting into the outer edge of that back foot. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale to fold. Inhale. Exhale, bending into that left leg, planting both hands and stepping back to find your high plank. Straight back into downward dog, or inhale, pushing into the ground, finding yourself, finding that integrity in this pose, this activation in this pose. Exhale, leaning forward, looking forward, bending the elbows to that 90-degree point to pause. Inhale, rolling over the toes, finding your way into upward dog, chest shining forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe coming to a child pose here, if that is calling out for you today. If you want to spend most of the class in child's pose, you're totally welcome to do so. Child's pose is a great posture for recentering and rebalancing. Inhale and exhale. If you are coming with me, finding your way back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, the right leg lifts, high on the ball of the left toes, bringing right knee to nose, planting right foot up in between the hands, spinning the left foot so it's parallel with the back outer edge of the mat. Inhale, bringing arms up, finding your way to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So really pushing in with the back outer edge of that back foot, strong and engaged through the left leg, nice deep bend in that right knee, bringing the hands to the hips, finding your stability here. Torso is going long through the hips. Inhale, lifting the rib cage up, bringing the arms out parallel to the floor. Gaze over right fingertips. Inhale. And exhale, can you sink a bit deeper into that front knee? Inhale, bringing the left hand to the left hip. We're going to be making our way into half moon Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, high onto the ball of that back foot, deep bend into the right knee, and then landing the right hand so it's about a foot and a half away from your face. Now you can come to the block here, which will help us because it will bring the floor up closer to our face. But keeping that hand on the left hip, seeing if you can spiral that left hip open so you're ending up to square through the hips. And be mindful what you're doing with this back leg. If it's floppy, if it's not engaged, it's going to throw your balance off. So keep that left leg engaged and strong. Maybe left hand lifts, maybe gaze goes up towards left fingertips. You can also bend the left knee here, taking a hold of the inside of the foot and really kicking the foot into the hand to open up through the chest, finding your Chapasana. If you fall, don't worry, just come back in. And falling is really where we learn. It's where the body learns, it's where we start to make corrections, where we start to learn balance. So if you're stumbling and falling a lot, don't worry about it, it will come with time. Inhale if you do have that leg releasing, and exhale, deeply bending into that right knee as with control you land left toes back onto the mat, finding your way into a runner's lunge. Planting left hand down, inhale, right arm lifts, gaze follows that top hand. Then either staying here or coming onto the outside edge of both feet, finding a very lovely stretch all down the IT band. Inhale and exhale. Staying here or inhaling back to find your side plank, or if you want to come all the way over to find that wild thing, you're very welcome to do so here. Your practice, your poses, your choice. Take what your body needs today. Inhale. Exhale, wherever you are, bringing that right hand back down to the ground to find your high plank. Either pushing straight back to downward facing dog or making your way through your vinyasa. So finding your chaturanga, your upward dog on the inhale, and your downward facing dog on the exhale. Coming back to this pause, finding your breath. Really finding what you need today from the pose. How can the pose serve you better? If you have been in child's pose, coming back to downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, stepping left foot up in between the hands. Inhale, windmilling the arms up, finding your way into Virabhadrasana 2. Left foot forward, right foot back. Right foot is parallel with the back outer edge of the mat. Nice deep bend in that left knee. I do like to bring my hands to the hips here just to stabilise. Or it's because I'm lazy because it makes my arms hurt. No cheating here. Arms up, palms facing down. Gaze goes over the middle finger of your left hand. Just check that the big toe is in sight with the left knee on top. Inhale. So your left knee should be tracking over the pinky toe side of that foot. And exhale. Inhale to bring right hand to the hip. Deeper bend into that left knee as you exhale, coming onto the ball of that back foot. Reaching forward, leaning forward, finding the balance as the left fingertips come to the floor or they come to a block. And try not to dump down here. Really engage through the core so you get more of a lift in the chest. Whoop. Whoop. This is my wobbly side. So really gripping with that big toe of the grounded foot, strong and engaged through the left leg. And can you peel the right hip open, sending the chest more to the right side of the room. Staying super strong and engaged through that back leg. Maybe right hand lifts, maybe gaze goes up to the right hand. Maybe you bend the right knee, taking hold of the inside of the foot, and really kicking the foot into the hand to find more of an opening here. Inhale. Exhale. If you fall, you fall. You climb back up, you get back in. Ooh. Inhale. Exhale, bending deeply into that left knee, gently releasing that hold of the bind if you have it. Stepping all the way back, finding your way into a runner's lunge. High on the ball of that back foot, hips square to the front of the mat. Inhale, placing right hand down as left arm lifts, finding that twist. Exhale, coming onto the outside edge of both feet, finding that IT band stretch. Oh yeah, I love this one. Inhale, and exhale. Next, inhale, either stepping halfway back, finding a supported side plank, all the way back into side plank, or sending left toes back as you find your way into that wild thing. Finding that opening in the chest, maybe supporting the back of the head with the hand. Making it your practice, your pose, your choice, your way. Inhale. Exhale, bringing left hand to the mat, finding your way back into plank. And either working through that vinyasa, that chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, or coming straight into downward dog. Woo. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Wherever you are, bringing knees down, coming to sit onto the heels. I'm going to come through a few camel swings just to wind things down. So inhale, placing right hand behind you, about a foot behind you, lifting the hips up, stretching left hand over the head. Exhale, lowering the hips, coming all the way down, inhaling, right arm up, hips forward. Exhale, swinging round, placing hand down, inhaling, left arm up, hips come forward. Other side, left hand down and round, inhale, right arm up. God, that was tuneful. Exhale, coming back down, crossing over the ankles, and bringing your way all the way down to lie on the mat. Hugging knees into chest. Ooh. Then either bringing hands to a T or you can cactus through the arms here. Just scooting the hips over to the right as you allow the knees to come over to the left. Gaze goes out over right fingertips. Inhale back into centre, scooting hips over to the left as knees come out and over to the right. Gaze goes over left fingertips. Keeping both shoulders grounded. If you do need a block underneath the knees here, please feel free to prop up. Inhale, coming back into centre, hugging those knees in towards the chest. Taking a gentle rock from side to side. Maybe taking a final squeeze with the body. So inhale, bringing the knees to the nose, squeezing into a tiny ball as much as you can. Squeeze everything in. Woo. Exhale, releasing down to the mat. Coming into whichever version of Shavasana suits you today. If you're lying down on the ground, imagine the feet are going out to the corners of the mat. Rolling the shoulders underneath the body, palms facing up to the ceiling. Closing the eyes or lowering the gaze if you wish. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more like this, in through the nose. Let. And out through the mouth. Go. Just giving yourself the luxury of time here. And the permission to be still, the permission to not do anything right now. many opportunities in our day to do that, so really allowing yourself to be with yourself now. No distractions, nothing. And if you do have more time to spend here, I do encourage you to do so, but I will leave you here. Thank you so much for showing up for your energy today. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. And I will see you again on the mat. Namaste.